हेलो दोस्तों, मेरा नाम है Fortnite और आप सबका स्वागत है मेरी एक और नई वीडियो में। आज हम रिएक्ट करने वाले हैं Nvidia का जो RTX 30 सीरीज का जो लॉन्च था उसके ऊपर। और मैं ऑलरेडी देख चुका हूं, लेकिन ये इंट्रो में अभी रिकॉर्ड कर रहा हूं। आप लोगों को बहुत ज्यादा, अगर आप टैग के अंदर हो, टैग आपकी फेवरेट, वन ऑफ फेवरेट चीज है और आप उसके लिए एक्साइटेड रहते हो, तो आपको ये देखना पड़ेगा। मैं तो बहुत एक्साइटेड था, मैं देख के तो भाई पम्प्ड अप हो चुका हूं और आई होप आपको भी मजा आएगा। धमाकेदार वाला लाइक करना, शेयर करना, सब्सक्राइब करना और नोटिफिकेशन बेल दबाना मत भूलना। अब मैं अपने दोस्त के साथ देखने वाला हूं, तो आई होप आपको इसमें मजा आएगा। अगर आपको और ऐसे टाइप के रिएक्शन चाहिए तो कमेंट डाउन बिलो, और कमेंट डाउन बिलो RTX #RTX ऑन। और लेट्स सी हाउ दैट्स रोल आउट। लाइक करना और मैं मिलता हूं आपको वीडियो के अंदर।
First, big news.
Ooh.
Fortnite is turning RTX on. Now Minecraft and Fortnite, the number one and number two most played games in the world,
Fortnite
have
RTX on कर रहा है।
Fortnite will get ray trace shadows, reflections, ambient occlusion, and DLSS 2. These effects look fantastic with the art style.
DLSS भी है।
I can't wait to see a Fortnite concert with
FPS
RTX on. The last one with Travis Scott was watched by 28 million people. Epic made a trailer for you. Let's play it now.
वो RTX ट्रेलर।
Oh, let's see. Oh. Ray tracing and
75%
DLSS.
of GeForce gamers play esports. Esports is a game of milliseconds. Reaction time is a combination of the gamer and the
Valorant?
machine. Let me explain. This is Valorant. In this example, the opponent is traveling at 1500 pixels per second, and it's visible in this opening for only 180 milliseconds. A typical gamer has a reaction time of 150 milliseconds from photon to action. You can only hit this opponent if your PC adds less than 30 milliseconds. Most gamers have latencies far greater than 30 milliseconds, many up to 100 milliseconds. Today we're announcing a new esports technology called Nvidia Reflex. Nvidia Reflex optimizes the rendering pipeline across CPU and GPU to reduce latency by up to 50%. In September, we're releasing Reflex with our game-ready driver. Over 100 million GeForce gamers will instantly become more competitive. Valorant, Fortnite, Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, and Destiny 2 will be the first to integrate Reflex technology. Esports pros and enthusiasts strive for zero latency. For you, we're announcing an insanely fast and beautiful display. A 360Hz G-Sync display designed for esports. This display has a built-in precision latency analyzer. Just connect your mouse. The Nvidia 360Hz G-Sync esports displays are arriving this fall from Acer, Alienware, Asus, and MSI. We've made a video comparing gaming on a 60Hz, 144Hz, and 360Hz display. You can see immediately how 360Hz display will help you target and track an opponent. For the 20 million live streamers, we have something really cool for you. Nvidia Broadcast turns any room into a broadcast studio. Nvidia Broadcast runs AI algorithms trained by deep learning on Nvidia's DGX supercomputer, one of the most powerful in the world. Effects like audio noise removal, virtual background effects whether graphics or video, and webcam auto-framing is a virtual camera person tracking you. These AI effects are amazing. Available for download in September and runs on any RTX GPU. Brandon and GeForce Marketing will now show you Nvidia Broadcast.
Hey everybody, I'm Brandon and I'm very excited today to talk to you about our Nvidia Broadcast app. Like many of you, I've been home a lot more lately. I've been video conferencing all day and then gaming and streaming all night, and I have a very basic webcam and microphone setup. Nvidia Broadcast makes these things supercharged with a lot of new awesome features that really bring it out using the power of AI and RTX GPUs. The first one I want to talk about is noise removal. So I've asked my girlfriend to join me with a blow dryer here, and that distracting sound makes it very hard to understand what I'm saying. But when I turn on noise removal in Nvidia Broadcast, you find that it's completely gone, and that blow dryer is still going. But Nvidia Broadcast isn't just awesome audio features. There's some really exciting video features as well. Let's take a look. First up, we have the ability to blur your background, which you may notice that I need because I have a very cluttered and messy room. But when I turn this background blur feature on, all of a sudden I get this really classy effect. And I can adjust the
यही
strength
तो
of that
चाहिए
from
बैकग्राउंड
low to high.
ब्लर
हाँ यार तू यूज करेगा सब
Or, if I
हाँ
want, I can actually replace the background altogether. Now I'm in a space station with the magic of AI. It's that easy. Or, if I want to jump into some gameplay, I can remove the background altogether and jump into some Valorant. And now I'm playing with a green screen effect
Ooh, Valorant.
without actually having to have one at home. I
Hello.
don't have to play good, but at least I can look good. Now sometimes when I'm
बिना green screen लिया
video
देखो
just
scam.
chatting stream, I want to zoom in to get a more personal connection with the audience. But the problem is I bounce around so much, it's easy for my head to get out of frame. With the auto frame feature, it's like having your own personal cameraman that follows you wherever you go. So, if for example, I wanted to reach over and grab my cool Valorant hat and show it to everybody, it follows me every step of the way. I just find Nvidia Broadcast to be really exciting as both a streamer and as someone who works from home. The ability to remove distracting noise, improve your background, and keep yourself in the center of the frame are all awesome features in one app, and I just can't wait for you guys to try it.
भाई साहब यही तो चाहिए था
A new form of art has emerged from gaming. Turing was our first generation RTX GPU, combining ray tracing, programmable shading, and AI. The flagship Turing had a ton of processing power, 11 shader teraflops, 34 RT teraflops, and 89
11
tensor
teraflop, bhai.
teraflops. Let me show you our new RTX GPU. Ampere is a giant leap in performance.
ओह
Ampere does 2 shader calculations per clock versus 1 on Turing. 30 shader teraflops compared to 11. Ampere doubles ray triangle intersection throughput. Ampere's RT core delivers 58 RT teraflops compared to Turing's 34. And Ampere's new tensor core automatically identifies and removes less important DNA weights. And the new tensor core hardware processes the sparse network at twice the rate of Turing.
138
238 tensor flops compared to 89.
भाई
Ladies and gentlemen, Nvidia's
360
new
नहीं 400
Ampere
500
GPU,
FPS आएगी मुझे लग
our
रहा है
second generation RTX, 28 billion transistors,
Second
built
gen
on
RTX.
Samsung 8N Nvidia custom process. All 3 processors double rates over Turing, a triple double. It connects to Micron's new G6X, the fastest memories ever made. The days of just relying on transistor performance scaling is over. Yet Ampere is an incredible 2 times the performance and energy efficiency of Turing. At Nvidia, we use every engineering lever to
जानते हैं मुझे
squeeze
spoiler
every
मत दे
drop of
पीछे हूँ मैं
performance out of the system. From architecture, custom process design, circuit design, logic design, packaging, custom SerDes I/O, memory, power and thermal design, PCB design, software and algorithms. Thousands of engineers per generation, billions of dollars. Full stack engineering and extreme craftsmanship is the hallmark of our GPUs. Our performance, energy efficiency, and low power are all world class. And real application performance highlights Ampere's new RT core. The more ray tracing is done, the greater the Ampere speed up. Ampere RT core doubles ray intersection processing.
भाई
Its ray tracing is processed concurrently with shading.
गेम
And
ब्रेकर
Ampere can render cinematic images with
देखेंगे
motion
एमडी
blur
कैसा करते हैं अब
8 times faster than Turing. Let's take a look at Ampere in action. At our kitchen GTC a few months ago, we showed Marbles, the world's first fully path-traced, photorealistic real-time graphics. It was running on our highest-end Turing Quadro RTX 8000. Turing was doing 720p, 25 frames per second. Today, we're going to run an enhanced version of Marbles with even more special effects, and it is running at 1440p, 30 frames per second, over 4 times the performance. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy Marbles at night. Marbles is entirely path traced. No rasterization, all real time. There are hundreds of area lights,
और ये भी सब
including
AI हुआ है.
spherical area lights. There's no pre-baking, everything is dynamic.
Marbles.
The depth of field is film quality and beautiful. Everything is dynamic. Diffuse GI, all dynamic. There are hundreds of rigid bodies, 80 million triangles. Materials are physically accurate, physics simulation and volumetric rendering in real time. DLSS 2.0 is doing the super resolution and AI denoising. Let's compare Marbles Turing and Marbles Ampere. You can see dramatic visual quality jump of Ampere. Marbles on Turing runs at 720p 25 frames per second. Marbles on Ampere runs at 1440p 30 frames per second, more than 4 times the performance. And Ampere even did area lights and depth of field. A giant performance leap. Today's games are giant worlds, indoor and out, with photogrammetry, dense geometry, and lots of characters. Games are over 200 gigabytes and getting
100
bigger.
copies of
This is like
Crisis.
50,000 songs or 400 hours of streaming video. Games have pushed PC I/O and file systems to the breaking point. CPUs copy files from disk and decompress the game image. This is fine when the storage system was slow, 50 to 100 megabytes per second. Now with Gen 4 PCI Express and solid-state drives, PCs can transfer data at 7 gigabytes per second, 100 times faster. CPU copying data to memory and decompressing game images is now the bottleneck. Decompressing data from 100 megabytes per second hard drives takes only a few CPU cores. However, decompressing from 7 gigabytes per second SSDs on PCIe Gen 4 takes over 20 CPU cores. Today, we're announcing Nvidia RTX I/O with 3 new advances. New I/O APIs for fast loading and streaming directly from SSD to GPU memory. GPU lossless decompression. And collaboration with Microsoft on direct storage for Windows that streamlines the transfer of data from storage to GPU memory. With Nvidia RTX I/O, vast worlds will load instantly. Picking
मैं
up where you
करूंगा
left
RTX
off
I/O.
will be instant.
Maybe.
This is a very big deal for next generation gaming. Let me show you Ampere in action in one of the most anticipated games of 2020, CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk.
Oh boy.
This trailer is called Scenes
Cyberpunk.
of Cyberpunk RTX.
Boy.
It shows ray trace reflections, diffuse illumination, shadows, ambient occlusion, and DLSS 2.0. Enjoy.
क्या चलता है? November 19th.
Ladies and gentlemen, our new flagship GPU, the Nvidia GeForce RTX 3080, powered by
3080?
Ampere, second generation RTX architecture.
Flagship 3080.
3090 नहीं है. Let us see. Reveal. Oh. 256.
690.
690. Nice.
980. 1080.
1080. Founders edition है.
हाँ 2080. और अब आ रहा है
2080.
3080.
80 देखते क्या होता है. Nvidia.
For what improvement?
1.2 times परफॉर्मेंस इम्प्रूवमेंट, नया आर्किटेक्चर
19
है
Gbps, नाइस।
भाई जी, नाइस भाई। टू 238 teraflops, 58 RT teraflops.
Revolutionary thermal design.
Oh,
ठीक
thermal
सही
design.
है।
ओए जेट इंजन गायब। निकल लिया जेट इंजन का टाइम भी चला गया है। असेंबल कर दो। ओ
जैसा लीक में था वैसा ही है।
हाँ, वाओ।
90 कहाँ है?
90 में आने वाला, चलना।
90 चाहिए हमें।
Ooh,
The Nvidia RTX
3080.
3080.
TX
I have one right here.
3080.
Let me show it to you.
Oh,
सीधे से इसके पीछे पड़ा था।
Beautiful.
हाँ।
Look at this. The RTX 3080.
चलो हमें
It is
लाइव परफॉर्मेंस
wonderfully
चाहिए।
crafted.
अभी दिखाओ।
It's going to look beautiful in your PC, and it lights up. Now let me tell you about some of the other exciting technologies inside. Turing used G6, the fastest memories at that time. The industry thought that was the limit. For
अरे
Ampere,
हाँ।
we had to push through that limit. Working with Micron, we designed the world's first memories with
G6X
PAM4
आ गया।
signaling, pulse amplitude modulation, with 4 voltage levels that encode 2 bits of data each, 0001, 1011. Each voltage step is only 250 millivolts. So in the same period of time, G6X can transmit twice as much data as G6. PAM4 is extreme signaling technology, and it's just becoming used in high-speed networking. The Ampere thermal architecture is the first ever flow-through design, working harmoniously with PC
चलो
chassis
CPU और
cooling
गर्म हो
system,
जाएगा।
pulling in cool air from the outside, flowing through the GPU,
देख रहा?
and pushing hot air straight out the chassis. To allow room for a fan to flow air directly through the module, our engineers architect a super dense
दो फैन वाला
PCB
ही है।
design that is 50% smaller than previous, while adding the bigger Ampere GPUs, HDMI 2.1, PCI Express 4.0, and G6X. There are 2 independently controlled fans. The bracket front fan pulls cool air from the bottom and pushes the heated air out through the graphics card brackets. A backside pull-through fan passes cool air over the fins of the heat pipe and directs the hot air to the top and back of the chassis to be exhausted by the system fan. The 3080 flow-through system is 3 times quieter and keeps the GPU 20 degrees cooler than the Turing design. It can cool 90 watts more than Turing. The generational leap is ultimately the most important factor of new GPUs. A significant technology advance is needed to inspire content developers to create the next level of content and for the install base to upgrade. Let's see how the 3080 stacks up to previous generation architectures on the latest graphics-intensive games. 3080 is faster than 2080 Ti. 3080 is twice the performance of 2080 at the same price.
$700।
It's the biggest generational leap we've ever had. Ladies and gentlemen,
लग गई।
Nvidia GeForce RTX 3080, our new flagship GPU, powered by Ampere, our second generation RTX GPU architecture. Incredible amounts of processing in the shader, RT ray tracing core, and Tensor core for processing AI. 10 gigabytes of G6X, twice the
750 से
processing power of
$850
2080,
रहेगा।
and at the same price, starting at $699.
699
Available September 17th.
available September
699।
One of our most
September
popular
17th.
is the 70 series. 970, 1070, 2070 were all hugely popular. You're going to love the new RTX 3070. Faster than the 2080
3070
the
faster
Turing
than
GPU
2080
priced at $1,200. Ladies and gentlemen,
2080 को
the new
दबा उड़ा
GeForce
दिया रे।
RTX 3070. Let me show it to you.
3070
It's a work of art.
3070
20 shader teraflops,
ओ
40
अलग है।
RT teraflops, and
ये
163 teraflops tensor core for AI processing.
मतलब
With
90 नहीं आने वाला,
80
80 Ti रहेगा।
G6
RTX 3070 is faster than the $1,200 RTX 2080 Ti, starting at
2080
$499,
499
available in October.
October
Every
में।
generation, we pack in our best ideas to increase
October।
performance while introducing new features that enhance image quality. Every couple of generations, the stars align, as it did with Pascal, and we get a giant generational leap. Pascal was known as the perfect 10. Pascal was a huge success and set a very high bar. It took the superfamily of Turing to meaningfully exceed Pascal on game performances without ray tracing. With ray tracing turned on, Pascal, using programmable shaders to compute ray triangle intersections, fell far behind Turing's RT core.
10 FPS आती
And
थी।
Turing with ray tracing on reached the same performance as Pascal with ray tracing off. On a technical basis, this was a huge achievement. The images are far more beautiful, and reflection and shadow artifacts are gone. But gamers wanted more. They want every generation to be more realistic and higher frame rate at the same time. So we doubled down on everything. Twice the shader, twice the ray tracing, and twice the tensor core. The triple double. Ampere
उनके
knocks the
60
daylights out of
FPS
Pascal on ray tracing.
खुश रहा बोरू।
And even with ray tracing on, crushes Pascal on frame rate. To all my Pascal gamer friends, it is safe to upgrade now. Amazing ray tracing games are coming.
मेरा
Activision
1050
and developer Treyarch are launching a new Call of Duty on November 13th. It's a masterpiece and it looks incredible. There are dynamic lights, ray tracing, shadows and ambient occlusion, DLSS 2.0, and Nvidia Reflex super low latency technology. The last Call of Duty sold an amazing 30 million copies. Activision put together this trailer of never before seen footage. Enjoy.
फोर के 60 with ray tracing. Holy moly.
मजे कर भाई।
और 17 तारीख को ही आ रहा है, तो बात तो और भी बड़ी है।
यार बहुत गंदा है तू। 699 $700 का भी किसी ने इमेजिन नहीं किया था। $700 का भाई 3080 was supposed to be 800 से ज्यादा।
लेकिन मैं तो वो वाला लूंगा Asus का, तो उसमें उसका वेट करना पड़ेगा थोड़ा, शायद देखते हैं।
प्राइस रिवील पे बेपिस पूछ रहा है, प्राइस रिवील है।
Let me talk to you about one more thing. Several years ago, we started building the Titan, pushing the GPU to the
टाइटन की
absolute
बात हो
limit
रही है।
to create the best graphics card of that generation. It was built in limited quantities and only through Nvidia. The distribution was limited. The demand surprised us. Creatives were making 4K movies, rendering
टाइटन का क्या
cinematics.
करेंगे?
Researchers built workstations
मतलब
for data science
3090
and AI. Bloggers built broadcast
वो देखेंगे
workstations.
देखेंगे।
Flight and racing simulation fans built sim rigs. There is clearly a need for a giant GPU that is available all over the world. So we made a giant Ampere. Ladies and gentlemen, the RTX 3090.
3090
3090 देखते हैं रुक, मुझे देखना है।
Alrighty.
ओ भाई
3090 is a beast. A ferocious
3090.
GPU. A BF GPU. 36 shader teraflops. 69 RT teraflops. 285
Nice.
tensor teraflops. And it comes with a massive
24 GB, yes,
G6X.
और 1500 चले।
It comes with a silencer, a
$1500.
dual-axle flow-through design, 10 times quieter, and keeps the GPU 30 degrees cooler than the Titan RTX design. But there's more. The 3090 is so big that for the very first time, we can play games at 60 frames per
8K.
second in 8K.
8K
This is insane. Because it's impossible for us to show you what it looks
RTX
like on
on
the
के
screen.
साथ।
We invited some friends to check it out. Roll the clip.
भाई साहब
तू क्या लेगा? 3090 या 80?
3090 1.5 लाख का बजट तो था ही।
तेरी तो बहुत मारेंगे।
I've never been more
मुझे
excited.
80 दे फिर। चल इधर आ 80 ला।
Are you kidding me?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
No way.
This is incredible, dude.
This is amazing.
Wolfenstein Control.
No, this is silly.
भाई 8K यार
The treads.
मॉनिटर आए नहीं है 8K के
All right.
TV तो आ गए।
Move fast and shoot things.
This is 8K, sir.
TV
I can
आया।
see everything. Oh, I need to shoot you though.
Not a whole lot of people have seen something like this.
This is so realistic. I feel like I'm really in battle.
This is insane.
with RTX
I'm
on.
looking for pretty things.
हाँ वही तो,
There we
लेकिन
go.
DLSS
The ray tracing
के
is-
साथ, लेकिन DLSS ज्यादा ही
Sizzle reels that you
सही तो
see.
है, इतनी बुरी भी नहीं है।
And then it's like, it'll never look like that. But it does.
I'm like looking across the vistas, the grand vistas that are happening right now.
Holy shit, look at this.
This feels like a Disneyland experience. Oh, it is so smooth. It's butter.
Oh, it's smooth as
भाई
shit.
Xbox तो 4K 60 में चलाएगा, मैं बोलूँगा,
I mean, this is game-
मैं 8K 60 में चलाऊँगा।
see.
My mind is blown, dude.
फिर आराम से 700
It's
800
been
FPS
20
आएगी।
years since the Nvidia GPU introduced programmable shading. The GPU
तुम लोग
revolutionized
4K
modern
पे
computer
खेलो,
graphics.
हम 8K पे खेलेंगे।
Developers jumped on and invented clever algorithms, like shaders that simulate realistic materials, or
3090 कुछ
post-processing
ज्यादा ही
effects for
बड़ा
soft
नहीं है।
shadows, ambient occlusion, and
है
reflections.
तो है।
Developers pushed the limits of rasterization beyond anyone's expectations. Meanwhile, NVIDIA GPU processing increased a stunning 100,000-fold. Gaming became a powerful technology driver. Gamers grew to billions, and gaming pushed into all aspects of entertainment and culture. If the last 20 years was amazing, the next 20 will seem nothing short of science fiction. Today's Ampere launch is a giant step into the future. This is our greatest generational leap ever. The second generation Nvidia RTX, fusing programmable shading, ray tracing, and artificial intelligence, gives us photorealistic graphics and the highest frame rates at the same time. Once the holy grail of computer graphics, ray tracing is now the standard. And Ampere is going to bring you joy beyond gaming. Nvidia Reflex to improve your response time. Nvidia Broadcast turns any room into a studio. And Omniverse Machinima turns you into an animated filmmaker. We are super pleased with 3070, 3080, and 3090,
Reflex IO.
the first three members of the Ampere generation. You're going to feel a boost
तो
like
70
never
लेगा।
before. I can't
First
wait to
three
go
मतलब और
forward
आने
20
वाले।
years to see what RTX started.
30
Homes
कुछ
will have
आएगा।
holodecks. We will beam ourselves through time and space, traveling at the speed of light, sending photons, not atoms. In this future, GeForce
3060
is your
कितने का आएगा?
holodeck, your lightspeed starship, your time machine.
399
In this future, we will look back and realize that it started here.
I think so.
Thank you for joining us today, and to all of our fans for celebrating the arrival of Ampere.
भाई अरे मैंने एक चीज
ओह।
नोटिस करी है, एक सेकंड।
क्या
इनने
3060 नहीं लाया? हाँ
जब 3090 का बताया था, कहाँ गया? हल्का सा पीछे।
खत्म हो गया।
यार, मैं बताता हूँ ना, देख तू इस पॉइंट पे आ, किस पॉइंट पे हूँ मैं। -355 जब 3090 के वो दिखाए थे उनने प्राइस और वो सब।
-355
हाँ, टाइम को पीछे कर।
हाँ
तो जब 3090 के वो दिखा रहे हैं ना प्राइस, तो उधर लिखा है अवेलेबल फ्रॉम एनवीडिया एंड पार्टनर्स ऑन सितंबर 24। उसका ये मतलब है कि
Partner.
पार्टनर्स का भी उसी दिन आ रहे हैं 24 तारीख को, मतलब MSI, एसस और गैलेक्स और इन सारी कंपनियों के।
हाँ तो तू 3090 ले रहा है?
हाँ, लेकिन मैं पहले देखूंगा परफॉर्मेंस दोनों में कितना डिफरेंस है। वैसे मूड तो यही कर रहा है 3090 का, क्योंकि 5 साल चलाने वाला हूँ फिर ग्राफिक कार्ड, तो अंटिल अनलेस एनवीडिया किसी जमाने में मुझे फ्री दे दे वो बात अलग है। लेकिन
वो मिलेगा नहीं तुझे सप्लाई ड्रॉप में से?
हाँ, तो इसलिए तो मैंने बोला 5 साल चलाने वाला हूँ, तो 5 साल चलाने के लिए थोड़ा बीफी जीपीयू चाहिए पड़ता
हेलो,
है।
तेरी आवाज कट गई।
मैं कह रहा हूँ 5 साल चलाने के लिए थोड़ा बीफी जीपीयू चाहिए पड़ता है। और अब दुनिया का सबसे बेस्ट कार्ड लेंगे ना हम, नीचे क्यों देखें हम ऊपर ही देखने वाले हैं।
क्या हुआ?
हम नीचे क्यों देखें, हम ऊपर ही देखने वाले हैं। हम नीचे क्यों देखें।
3090 ओ इनके वीसी में आ जा, इनके वीसी में आ जा, कैफे वन आ जा।
आता हूँ। ओके दोस्तों, ये था एनवीडिया का पूरी लाइव स्ट्रीम, मतलब लाइव स्ट्रीम नहीं, प्रीमियर था। आई होप आपको इसमें मजा आया हो। धमाकेदार वाला लाइक करना, शेयर करना, सब्सक्राइब करना और नोटिफिकेशन बेल दबाना मत भूलना। और मैं इसको थोड़ा काट पीट के डालने वाला हूँ। जो चीज मेरे को इंटरेस्टिंग लगी थी और मेरी जिसपे थोड़े रिएक्शन है उसको मैं दिखाने वाला हूँ, और जो दो नहीं है उनको मैं थोड़ा कट कर दूंगा। जैसे बीच में एक वो उसका दिखाया था इन लोगों ने कि मूवी बनाने टाइप का, तो वो मैं कट कर दूंगा थोड़ा पार्ट और वगैरह वगैरह। बट आई होप आपको इसमें मजा आया हो। मैं एक्साइटेड हूँ सितंबर 24 के लिए। मैं दिल्ली जाके या मुंबई जाके जो भी मेरे लिए सूटेबल होगा वहां जाके लेके आने वाला हूँ। तो मैं तो एक्साइटेड हूँ। आई होप आपकी अभी 60 सीरीज जब आएगी, आई बिलीव तब लेना चाहिए आपको नया ग्राफिक कार्ड, क्योंकि 3060 अगर 3070 2080 Ti को बीट करे तो 3060 2080 को आराम से बीट कर देगा। तो अगर आपको चाहिए परफॉर्मेंस और एट लेस प्राइस, वो लेना आप लोग। और वैसे रिव्यू का मैं भी शायद तक वेट करूंगा। अगर रिव्यू एक दो दिन पहले नहीं आए तो फिर मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता, मैं डायरेक्ट 3090 ले आऊंगा। लेकिन अगर रिव्यू आ गए तो तब ऊपर नीचे मेरा हो सकता है। अभी तो 3090 का प्रोग्राम है मेरा, जिस हिसाब से अभी सब कुछ दिख रहा है। बट लेट्स सी हाउ दैट्स रोल आउट। मैं बोलता हूँ आपको अगली बार, तब तक के लिए बाय बाय, पीस 499 आओ।